What's good, my people? Welcome to EMGM Sports. It's your boy Enzo. Yeah, man. Just a quick one on Manchester United. Two new signings incoming. Two defenders coming from Bayern Munich is Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair Mazraoui. I hope I'm pronouncing that well. Both defenders were in England today, Carrington completing their medicals. I'm sure by now those deals will go through. It's just a matter of time before the club actually announce it. Look, Manchester United last season, as we already know, had a lot of issues with injuries at the back, especially injuries suffered by Lisandro Martinez, Luke Shaw, that really left, the team crippled. And Eric Ten Hag, made it clear, and obviously that was one of his arguments, that the team struggled because he never had a set defense, you know what I mean? He could never play a partnership for more than 5 games, Luke Shaw injured, Varane was injured a lot as well, and then you had to play the likes of Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, even Casemiro at one point. Casemiro played at centre back, so it was causing an issue for the team, and Eric Ten Hag, pushed very hard and said, look, if I didn't have those injuries, the team would have performed better, would have played well, and to some extent he is right. Do you know what I mean? He is right. Like, if you watch the FA Cup final against Manchester City when he had Martinez back, Manchester United, did play well. He had Martinez and Varane at the back, and they were solid at the back. They really restricted Manchester City's chances to create anything. Do you know what I mean? So, on that note, Eric Ten Hag has a point. Now we're looking at two defenders coming in. Mazraoui. Now I haven't really heard much about him, but he's coming. He's a right back. Apparently, he's versatile. He can play left back as well. And obviously, with Aaron Wan-Bissaka moving to West Ham, which we've heard already, they're gonna need a backup for Dalot, or competition for Dalot. So Mazraoui coming in looks a decent player. I wouldn't say he's like a world class right back, but United do need the numbers because of the number of injuries they just keep picking up for some strange reason. They keep getting a lot of injuries to defenders. Matthijs de Ligt, obviously the Dutch defender, he's worked under Ten Hag in the past with Ajax. Remember, they had a great run in the Champions League until they got stunned by Tottenham in the final minutes, and they missed out on a chance to play in the Champions League semi-final. So Matthijs de Ligt, the only concerns for me when it comes to Matthijs de Ligt, just a quick one here, is that, he went to Juve, big team in Italy, yeah? Juve were the champions and everything, and he couldn't quite hack it there, do you know what I mean? And he had some good performances, but, look, if you're a top defender, yeah, if you're a world-class defender, like, you don't go to Juve and then leave. Do you know what I mean? We've seen defenders in the past at Juve, they've been there for years. Do you know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it's a strange one with Delete because he goes to Juve, doesn't work out. He wins a league title, then leaves, goes to Bayern Munich, where, do you know what I mean? Where I thought, okay, the German league, the Bundesliga is gonna suit him. Do you know what I mean? I thought that's kind of gonna suit him. He's with the champions, Bayern Munich dominate anyway. So this is, this, he could call this home now. He could really establish himself and, just have a smooth career here. Bayern Munich, maybe stay there the next 8, 9 years. But once again, it didn't really work out. Do you know what I mean? To the point where I think he was injured. Injuries did play a part in it, but Bayern Munich had to sign Eric Dyer to come in and play. So yeah, that's a strange one. So it didn't work out at Juve. It didn't work out at Bayern Munich for Matthijs de Ligt. Now he's coming to Manchester United. I'm just thinking, is it too late? Like, are United actually getting him at the right time? And are United getting the player that played under Eric Ten Hag at Ajax? Is that the same Matthijs de Ligt? I just, I said it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be very interesting watching him. Obviously once they complete the signings and the club announce it, it's going to be very interesting just watching him play in the Premier League, because the Premier League is fast paced, it's competitive, it's very aggressive. Do you know what I mean? Strikers are very aggressive, teams are very aggressive. And also with Matthijs de Ligt's injury record in recent years, is not is not too good. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting seeing how he adapts to the Premier League with the pace and the aggressiveness of the Premier League. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But obviously, looking for Manchester United is just vital that they get those numbers through the door. And delete, even though he hasn't had the best of careers yet in terms of like just maintaining a high form season after season at the top clubs. He hasn't really had that yet, but he's still for my opinion, I feel like he's still an improvement on a Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire. Do you know what I mean? Like, so in that front, I think is a good signing. Is a good signing maybe for the next few years, 2 or 3 years, just to settle the club and just tighten up that back four. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the style of football that Eric Ten Hag wants to play and what the United fans expect Manchester United to play. You need those type of defenders that who are confident on the ball, who are strong, got a bit of pace about them, which Matthijs de Ligt does have. I'm not saying he has, tremendous amount of pace, but I think he's got more pace than Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans. So on that note, I think that's an upgrade on those two players. You got Lisandro Martinez there. You got the youngster who came from France, Euro. So between them three, they're gonna be rotating. So if one of them gets injured, yeah, at least you still got some strong backups there instead of always turning to Johnny Evans, who do you know what I mean, really shouldn't really be there. But he did well last season, so they've extended his contract as a backup. I'm guessing. So yeah, he's looking all right at the back for Eric Ten Hag. My other question is, what now with Delete coming in, you've got Euro, you've got Lisandro Martinez, you've got Johnny Evans, who also signed a year's extra contract at United. What's gonna happen with Harry Maguire now? Do you know what I mean? Like he keeps dropping down the pecking order. I don't know. If you're Harry Maguire, are you thinking, look, I've got a contract and I'm gonna stay here. If he's got ambitions to play for England, surely he's gonna have to move, before the window closes. Last season he could have went to West Ham, something happened, they wouldn't pay him off 10 million or whatever. This season, like we already know Eric Ten Hag doesn't really fancy Harry Maguire, so does he want to just stay on the bench and just play the old game here in the League Cup or FA Cup early rounds or whatever? So Harry Maguire's got a big decision to make because obviously he's not fancied by the manager. The manager's made that clear. Even though he did come back through some tough times last season, and he did well. He managed to turn it around. The fans were turning against him, but he had the correct attitude, the determination, and he came back. And you know what? The fans actually admired him for that and they praised him for that. So well done to Harry Maguire, but eventually he's gonna have to move on. Do you know what I mean? He can't just sit on a bench. He's still a good player. I reckon Harry Maguire would do a decent job for teams in a half of the table in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens with him. Also, Lindelof is still at the club. What happens with Lindelof? Does he get a move as well? Because they're gonna have too many centre backs. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see who Manchester United move on because obviously Aaron Wan-Bissaka is moving on. He's going to West Ham, Greenwood, Mason. Greenwood. He's moved on to Marseille. They still got some players there that they need to shift. Harry Maguire will have to be shifted. Lindelof probably have to be shifted. They might not get the money that they want for these players, but surely Manchester United with FFP rules, etc., etc., they can't just be signing players and not selling players. Do you know what I mean? For profit and sustainability and stuff like that. So it's gonna be interesting. A few more weeks left of the window. Yeah, man. It's gonna be interesting to see who still departs and are, are Manchester United gonna bring in new players, especially in that midfield area, Casemiro and Kobe Mainu. I just don't think long term, like, throughout the whole season, I don't think that's enough in there. Obviously, you go Mason Mount as well, but he plays a little bit higher. I think in that center of the park, I think they need another at least defensive midfielder, someone solid. Casemiro is getting on a bit. We saw last season already. His legs were kind of gone. He was struggling. So they need someone in there, probably fresher legs, younger legs to get in there someone who can get about the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And also they need a ball playing midfielder. I mean, Ericsson is still at the club. Is he leaving? Are they gonna sell him? his legs are kind of gone as well, so he's not really gonna be up to the pace of the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Especially with the demands and the expectations of Manchester United and what the fans want Manchester United to be. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. The window is still open for a few more weeks, so hopefully a few more signings for Manchester United and signings coming in, and hopefully some players getting moved on, being sold as well, because eventually some of these players, dead wood, you call them, that have been hanging around the club for a while, they should be moved on. The likes of Jadon Sancho, I think he should be moved on. I think they should use Jadon Sancho as part of a deal or something like that. Do you know what I mean? To bring in another player, because clearly that relationship is dead. The player doesn't look happy at the club. His body language is all wrong. So I know they've kind of patched up with Erik ten Hag, and everything is is water under the bridge. But I just don't see that relationship ever really mending for real. And also Manchester United at the top, Amad Diallo, Garnacho, Rashford, like, it's gonna be tough to see like a Jadon Sancho breaking into that. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like there's players ahead of him. They've got Anthony as well, who, Erik ten Hag always seems to play because he paid 80 million for him. So Jadon Sancho wasn't signed by Erik ten Hag. So I think he's probably gonna leave before the window shuts. And I think that would be the best move for everybody involved, for Manchester United, and for Jadon Sancho. Do you know what I mean? Let him go play his football. He's a decent player. He's not world class, but he's a good player. And with the right system, Jadon Sancho can be a very, very, very great addition for any team. But yeah, man, guys, yeah, man, let me know. Let me know what you think. What do you think of these two new signings of Manchester United coming in? Matthijs de Ligt and Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair, the right back coming in. What do you think of these two new signings? Are you happy about the two new signings? Are you excited about them? Do you feel like they improve the team? Do you feel like it takes the team to that next level? Can they then help Erik ten Hag play the football that the fans want to see? Do you know what I mean? That pressing football, defenders high up the pitch. Do you think these two defenders, two additional players coming in, Matthijs de Ligt and Noussair, do you think they do that? Or do you think Manchester United need a couple more additions, especially in that sense of the park in midfield? Do you feel like they need more? And also, do you think they need another striker? Because Rasmus Højlund, again, is injured. Zerki, he said he's a 9.5. He's not really a striker. He's what is he call it? He's like, well, he wants to play where Bruno plays, but clearly Bruno's the captain. He's never going to be dropped, is he? So Manchester United definitely need another striker. But yeah, man, let me know, guys. Let me know what you think of the two new signings. Erik ten Hag, the club overall, are they making the right moves? Ineos, they've come in, they're getting the players in, but they've been slow to shifting some of those players, some of those dead bulls that United fans have been crying for years to sell them on. So, it's interesting. Eventually, these players have to move on, like I said, but you let me know, man. Let me know what you think United are heading towards. Let me know what you think United are going to finish in the league. Do you think United make the top four? Do you think it's going to be another struggle like last season where they might finish seventh, eighth or whatever, because they're battling the likes of Newcastle, Tottenham, Chelsea? Do you know what I mean? So let me know in the comments, guys. I'll really appreciate getting involved. And also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll really appreciate that. Until the next one. Peace.